Hi, and welcome to my portfolio. I appreciate your interest in my journey through Clemson University's Master of Arts in Professional Communication program. This website tells the story of the skills and experiences I've gained through various research and projects. To fulfill the MAPC requirements, I've included artifacts that demonstrate the following competencies: professional communication, rhetorical theory, writing and editing skills, visual communication, media production literacies, and empirical research design. But before I talk about the individual artifacts and my research on nonprofit communication, I'll walk you through the structure of the site and the significance of the design. I structured the site based on Garrett's 5-plane model that he describes in the elements of user experience. The planes build on each other from the bottom up in this order: strategy, scope, structure, skeleton, and surface. I began by defining a strategy for how to meet my goals for the site along with meeting the user's needs. My goal was to present a collection of my communication skills in a way that would be clear and compelling. To accomplish that goal, I chose to present the artifacts as pieces of my story as an MAPC student. Why a story, you might ask? Squirrel Ink author Stephen Denning writes, "The ability to tell the right story at the right time can have a pivotal impact on the success or failure of any major change effort." I wanted to demonstrate to my committee that I had fulfilled the competency areas. I also wanted the portfolio to serve as a way for potential employers to understand my passion for storytelling through various mediums. To meet both of these needs, I named each artifact in a way that would reflect the skills I've gained. I named them digital storytelling, composition, editing, visual communication, and publishable paper. In terms of scope, I wanted to display the most significant examples of my work. Each skill contains one or more projects that have contributed to my journey through the MAPC program. These choices led me to the structure and navigation of the site. I wanted the user to have easy access to each page of the site. The top menu bar shows links to the home page, my story, and my contact information. Below this is the sidebar, which houses all the portfolio artifacts along with links to my sources and my resume. After I determined the basic structure, I designed the skeleton, or the more specific placement of my text, images, and links. I chose to place the sidebar to the right so that each page would be easily accessible. I also wanted each page to be clean with a splash of color. With this in mind, I designed the content of each artifact to be presented with an image followed by a set of questions that I consider for the reflection. Each question is linked and allows you to jump to the corresponding section, or you can simply scroll through the whole reflection. The links across the top of each page add to the clean design and simple navigation. On the surface, the elements of each page work together to complete my MAPC story. The projects I chose to showcase include a set of web pages designed for a local nonprofit, from which I drew concepts from Bitzer's rhetorical situation as well as Krug's usability theories. Example lesson plans and assignments I wrote as a freshman composition instructor with a discussion from Burke's deterministic screens as well as Foucault's ideas on language and discourse. A comprehensive editing package I completed for a client, from which I considered Aristotle's thoughts on tightly reasoned claims. Posters designed for Clemson's Human Resources Department, from which I drew concepts from Crescent von Leeuwen's Reading Images. A how-to video for teaching basic swing dance steps that draws from Palakis' ideas on kairos and the appropriate. Images and the composition for a Pashashka presentation that draws from Barton and Barton, as well as Fagerhord's ideas on multimodal texts, and a publishable paper about nonprofit communication and skills that draws from Bitzer's rhetorical situation, as well as guidelines for designing a qualitative research study by Gubel Gambrill. Each project contributes a significant thread to my journey as a professional communicator. My paper in particular highlights the research I completed as part of the program requirements. In the study entitled Meeting the Needs, a qualitative study of nonprofit communication and skills, I wanted to find out how professional communicators in the nonprofit sector are currently using digital tools to start and maintain conversations with constituents in their communities. To launch the study, I asked 3 questions. How can we best describe the current state of nonprofit marketing trends and tools? What are the current technological skills and practices needed by communications professionals in nonprofit organizations in order to promote effective messages? And how do professional communicators in nonprofit organizations meet the needs of their constituents and clients through the identified technological trends? Through a series of 14 interviews and 4 site observations, I used Grant Davies' method of coding to look for patterns and anomalies in the participants' responses. My coding revealed these categories or nodes, with the message or mission of the organization being the central and connecting hub. I adapted this model from Schuon's discussion of network theory in order to see how it could apply to the nonprofit sector. For the main theoretical framework, I used Howard's ideas about building online communities. In his theory, also known as RIBS, there are 4 components: remuneration, determining the user's needs; influence, defining those needs and appealing to different types of members; belonging, sharing stories to promote the values of the community; and significance, showing users they have a vital role in the community. During the data collection and analysis, I looked for traces of RIBS in the participants' comments. My findings suggested that these communicators are exploring the use of social media and web applications, but they are challenged to use these tools in the most effective ways. In my analysis, I offered a set of best practices based on RIBS in order to highlight particular actions that nonprofit communicators can take so that they can better maintain their existing online communities and the conversations happening within them. You can find the paper and my reflection on the publishable paper link. Upon completing my degree, I'd like to thank the participants in my study and my project clients for their time and thoughtful collaboration. I'd also like to thank the MAPC faculty for the opportunity to grow and learn as a communicator. And finally, I'd like to thank Dr. Howard, my committee chair, for his guidance and patient listening throughout this process, as well as my committee members, Dr. Katz, Dr. Haynes, and Dr. Goswami, for their mentorship and insight. I hope you've enjoyed this glimpse into my MAPC story, as well as my ongoing journey as a professional communicator and storyteller.